Welcome to a Real Estate Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host, Vishal Kapoor. Before we dive into today's theme, why Ontario's rental market is cooling, let me share you a story that captures the heart of what so many are experiencing right now. Just a few weeks ago, I met Priya and her family, recent newcomers to Oakville. Last year, finding a rental here was a stressful race. Bidding wars, packed open houses, and sky-high rents. But this time, Priya was surprised. She toured several vacant homes, took her time deciding, and even received a moving allowance from a landlord eager to fill a two-bedroom unit. She told me, "We felt welcomed and relieved. It gave us time to choose the right home for our kids." Well, Oakville is known for great schools, and that's what's her motive. Stories like Priya are becoming more common across Ontario. The market is shifting, and for the first time in years, renters, especially newcomers, are finding more options, less competition, and even incentives from landlords. That's the reality on the ground, and it sets the stage for our discussion. Why is the rental market in Ontario in decline? What's driving these changes, and what does it mean for newcomers, tenants, and investors? Stay tuned as we break down the latest data, explore the reasons behind the shift, and share practical advice for navigating this new landscape. Whether you're searching for your first home in Canada or considering your next investment, this episode is for you. Rental market in 2025, the big picture. After years of rising rents, Ontario rental market is cooling. More supply, slower population growth, and changing economic conditions are shifting the balance in favor of renters. This trend is seen across condos, apartments, and new single-family homes. Not only new, it's like most of the single-family homes. Ontario average one-bedroom rent is $1,939. Ontario average all rents is $2,329. Average single-family home price, Ontario, May 2025, it's $902,000, which is 6.3% decline. And, what I'm seeing on the market is it's dropped down from 10 to 15%. Data tell me the otherwise because it's average out. But what I'm seeing in like a big market, especially Toronto, Mississauga, Oakville, they are in decline. And its rental property staying longer. But why is the rental market declining? More supply? Well, record numbers of new rental units, condos, and single-family homes are hitting the market. Inventory is at a decade high, meaning more choices and less competition for renters and buyers. Slower population growth and immigration, that's a big cause. Not, like I will say, net population growth has showed dramatically. Ontario had net decrease of 4,254 people in Q1 2025 compared to a gain of nearly 91,000 the previous year. International immigration to Ontario dropped to just 983 people in Q1 2025, a 99% decrease from last year. Canada's newcomer target for 2025 is 395,000, but Ontario's share is falling and non-permanent resident growth is slowing. Work permit and non-permanent residents 591,200 work permits applications were finalized in Canada in Jan to May 2025, but the backlog remains and fewer newer permits are being issued compared to previous year. The number of work permits holders in Ontario rose by only 14,314 in Q2 2024, a much lower pace than before. So last 2 years, we can see a big decline in relocation for work permit. Corporate relocations, businesses are more cautious about relocating in Ontario due to economic uncertainty and high cost. Average office relocation cost in Canada range from $415,000 to $1.4 million, depending upon the office size, making companies like twice before moving and expanding. Fewer corporate relocations means less demand for rental housing from transferred employees. So, big economic shifts. Ontario's job market is sluggish with unemployment at 7.9% and youth unemployment high, 9. Slower job growth means fewer people moving for work, reducing rental demand. Changing renter sentiment. With more options and slightly lower rents, some renters are considering buying, especially as single-family home prices have dropped over 6% year over year. Landlords are offering incentives, the free rent, or moving allowances to attract tenants. What does this mean for you? Well, if you're a newcomer, that's a good news, right? More rental choices and less competition mean a better shot at finding affordable housing. Suburban and smaller cities like Windsor and London offer lower rents and home prices. For tenants, vacancy rates are up, so you have more negotiating power. Watch for incentives. Landlords are more willing to offer deals. For investors, the days of rapid rent and price increases are over for now. Focus on competitive pricing and property improvements. Consider diversifying into markets where demand is still strong. A lot of people are doing it, investors, even some of the investors totally gone out of the market. So if you are a newcomer, tenant, or investor, now is the time to explore your options. Newcomers, start your home search early and consider a range of locations. Tenants, negotiate. Ask about incentives or discounts. Investors, review your portfolio and adapt to the new reality. Focus on tenant retention and property upgrades. Well, a lot of people ask these questions I cannot increase the rent, I don't happy with my tenant, and those things happens, right? But if you have a good tenant and they're thinking of leaving because of the high rent they're paying, maybe it's a good idea to sit down and talk with them and see what you can offer and how you can help them. More and more people are struggling to pay their rent, right? So my advice to you is have that the communication open and build that great relationship with each other, and maybe they stay, right? I have the great tenant, and always stay in touch and connect with them. And most of the time it happens, they understand my situation because mortgage interest rates are high. But also I understand their situation as well. So in some cases, I haven't increased the rent at all. Or in some cases, I have, reduced their rent as well. Because long-term tenant, they already paying lower than the market rate. Higher rate are still exist. Right now, their prices are still high, I will say. Even up to 10% to 15% down. It doesn't sounds like that because we're paying a lot of mortgage interest, and landlords not making money, losing from their pocket. So losing 1 month rent is huge. And when one tenant is leaving and the other one is coming, it's very highly unlikely it happens it happened that, their tenancy end on 31st, and you start another tenancy in from 1st without cleaning or painting or taking care of your property. So most of the time it happens, you end up leaving the house vacant for 1 to 2 months. If you prepare your property, and I visit a lot of properties, I'm telling you, and most of the time, a tenant deciding from one property to the other is to see how the upkeep of the property. A lot of landlord right now, I know they cannot afford it, but a simple things like fresh paint, that helps. Cleaning, any things which need to be rectified or repaired, do it before you list it in the market, because you're going to lose a lot of potential good tenants. So that's my advice to you. Also, the big thing is keep your lawn clean. Maybe your previous tenant or the existing tenants not keeping it there. Encourage them or even offer your services. Technically, landlord is responsible for grass cutting and ice removal, but most of the tenants, they don't know about that, and they do stuff. But a lot of people, even who are especially the newcomers to Canada, they don't know how things work. They never cut the grass before or removed the snow before, so they need help. They need guidance. And who else can help them? Current property owner, to teach them how to maintain the property and how you will appreciate if they take care of your property. I know their profiles are most important thing, and they're paying rent on the time as well. But as a landlord, it's your duty as well to take care of your tenant. And it's very, very important. Well, I know it's a hard time, and but save what you can. Stay wise. Keep watching a Real Estate Wisdom podcast, and let me know if you want me to cover any other topics which you're curious about. I get a lot of questions about tenants and landlords, and I'm happy to help. And especially newcomers to Canada, I know you need the hand holding, and you need somebody on your side to let you know how things works over here in Canada. And somebody who's not just saying it because it's just a lease or rental. For me, it's not just a rental. It's a building a relationship and providing you the service and giving you the great experience, welcoming you to Canada. So stay wise, enjoy your summer, and keep watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to Real Estate Wisdom Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. And I'm happy to help you. That's it for now. Have a great day. Bye for now. Disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast is for informational purpose only and should not be considered as financial or investment advice. Consult with your professional before making any real estate decisions.